Hey, it's Kyle here from UPLP Group. As you know me, a lot of times I'm the guy behind the camera. But guess what? I don't think you guys know a lot about me. You don't know a lot about my brother Cody, my sister, my family, anything like that. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna do a 10-week series. We're gonna release the behind the scenes of UPLP Group. And this is gonna go on YouTube. It's gonna be the built from nothing, the UPLP Group story. So let's kind of get into it. This episode 1, what we're going to talk about is where it all started. Then coming into some of the later ones, we're going to talk about job issues. We're going to talk about money issues, growing pains, what you can do to make it easier for yourself, what I did to make it easier for myself, or mistakes I made, and hopefully it makes it easier for you guys. So this is going to be a pretty cool series. It's going to be 10 weeks. We're going to have it on YouTube. We're going to have it on Instagram. We'll probably have some stuff on TikTok, kind of all the social medias out there. So you're going to want to follow along, check it out, the UPLP Group story, and this is where it all began. So I guess I'll start off from being a kid. I was your average kid. I played hockey, I raced dirt bikes. I was always a very competitive kid. And I think that's what kind of translated me into getting into doing my own thing. Kind of growing up, I always had that entrepreneurial spirit. I was always looking for ways to make money, even as a young kid. When I went to school, I would kind of gamble sometimes with other kids. I would trade stuff. I remember when iPods came out, then buying the first iPods when they first came out and selling them for more and trading stuff from people and getting iPads and kind of just trying to do whatever I could to make money. So I guess a little bit about me as well is I got a sister, as you know. Her name's Stephanie. She kind of like one of the backbones of our company now and of our family, I would say. She had a big impact on a lot of what we did. She helped me out with money throughout the years. She helped me buy my first skid steer. She gave me the money and I paid her back mostly over the years. So yeah, there's definitely lots to know about us. My brother, as you know, he's my partner now. He's been a partner for about 10 years. His name's Cody. I got a mom, I got a dad. My mom was always a stay-at-home mom. She took care of us. Dad was a hard worker. As you know, he's always with us. He's been working with us for 10 plus years now after he retired from framing houses. So we're lucky to have a really close family. We're lucky to kind of be able to build a company together. And I mean, even though I started almost 20 years ago, it's nice to have the help of everybody kind of behind us. So yeah, like I was saying, I guess I started out as a young kid. I played hockey, I raced dirt bikes. I was a pretty sporty kid. I was always in and out. I never spent any time inside. Always loved Tonka trucks. I love little excavators. And as you can tell, the toys, they grew a little bit more. I guess I'll talk about one of my fondest memories. I remember I used to live in Waldemar, just outside of Grand Valley. Mom and Dad had a property that was on the lake, or not on the lake, but on the river there. And I remember riding a little Jeep that I had and crashing it into a hole that my dad had built for a shed that we had. Tipped it over, and all I wanted to do was just be like Dad, helping out, trying to drag stuff around with my Jeep. And that's one of my memories that I have of just things that I've done over the years and being a little kid, and that's what it was all about. I think I got the drive of doing things from my dad for sure. My dad was always very motivated, worked hard. He's still probably the hardest working person I know. He's always, even with us now, he's always the first guy at the shop, last one to leave. I couldn't be where I'm at today without my mom and dad. Dad has always been around. He's always helped us. No matter what we have, he's there. He does what he needs to do. So without him, it'd definitely be a tough go. They've kind of moved their life. Dad was retired, came to work with us. We all bought a big property together, so it would make it easier for our company. And we'll get into that later on in the series here of even though we have this big property and big shop, that we can't operate out of there anymore. We had to buy a new one. Some of the struggles that we've gone on. But yeah, I was always into buying and selling things. I guess at Christmas time, buying like Rockstar sets and Guitar Hero and buying them for $100, and at Christmas time selling them for $300 and $400 when they were in demand. Going to auctions and buying stuff for cheap and selling it for more. Yeah, it was just, there was a lot. But I guess what we'll get into right now is how the construction all began. And I guess I started from a real young age. I bought my first lawnmower when I was about 6 or 7 years old. I remember walking through Sears warehouse with my mom. And if you've ever been in Sears warehouse with your mom, you probably can't find her. She's off looking at something and you just wanted to go to the toys and look. So I'd saved up birthday money, Christmas money and everything. I wanted to buy myself one of the little plastic Jeeps. And we got there. So mom was off looking at her stuff and I went to look at the Jeeps. And when I'm in there, I'm looking around at them and I'm pushing the Jeep to the front. And as I'm pushing it to the front, I walked by a lawnmower and went, if I spend all my money on this Jeep, I have no money left. So I walked by the Jeep, I let it go, I walked back to the Jeep, I grabbed it, and then I walked back over to the lawnmower and I went, you know, if I buy the lawnmower, then I can buy the Jeep in a couple weeks as soon as I make enough money. But I knew that if I spent all the money I had saved up on the Jeep, then I'd have no more money left. So here I am at 6 or 7 years old. I'm pushing the lawnmower to the front. Finally, my mom sees me and she goes, Kyle, what are you doing? And I go, well, I'm buying a lawnmower, Mom. And she goes, what do you mean you're buying a lawnmower? You're 6 years old. You don't need a lawnmower. I don't know what you need this for. And I said, Mom, well, you know, if I buy the Jeep, then I have no money. And she goes, okay, Kyle, you're 6 years old. What do you need money for? And I went, well, I like having money. I like being able to buy my own things, and I like being able to do things. So she goes, okay, Kyle, if you want to buy a lawnmower. I said, yeah, Mom, I'm going to go out. I'm going to get contracts. I'm going to start cutting lawns for people. She said, no problem. So she said, worst case scenario, she gets a free lawnmower out of it. So we get out, get the lawnmower in the car, go home. That night, my mom took me out around town, drove me around. I knocked on doors, probably 100 doors at least, and I got my first 2 contracts. I remember the guy's name. His name was Edgar, and that was my first one I ever got. And I think I actually cut his grass for probably about 4 years after that. I remember the first time he actually helped me push the lawnmower because I wasn't strong enough at that age to get all the way up his hill. It was pretty steep. But he still paid me. It was $30 back in the day that he paid me, and that was like gold to me. I got the neighbor across the road. And in that first week, I got about 8 to 10 other contracts that I held on to for a few years. So I think a week and a half or 2 weeks later, I'd saved enough money to go and buy the Jeep again. We went to Sears, I got the Jeep, and that's how kind of, I guess, the company was born. I started from then. The following year, I bought myself a little utility trailer, and my mom pulled it around with her car. Obviously, I didn't have my license at that point, so I wasn't doing that. I was like 8 years old, I think. And at 8, I kind of started doing mulch for people, gardening, planting. By the time I was like 12, 13 years old, we were doing interlock patios and stonework. And then it just progressed from there. Back when I was, say, 14 to 18, we started doing some handyman work. We would do repairs inside, repairs outside, kind of whatever I could do to keep busy. And if I didn't know what I was doing, I would look it up. I would YouTube it at night. And when I went to do something, I would just take a ton of measurements, a ton of pictures. That way I could get home, look up how to do it, and then I would have some knowledge on it and I would figure it out. So it's been a hell of a ride, that's for sure. Over the years, it just started progressing. So I guess I'll talk about how I kind of learned construction. From a young age, I was always running kind of machines and that with my dad. I remember, I think the first machine I ran was a skid steer. I was probably 8 or 9 years old, I remember. And Dad was building the house and he was putting in the hydro line underground trenching. So he was in an excavator, he was digging the trench, I was putting pipe in, and then he was jumping out of the one machine and getting in the other to bury the pipe. And I said, Dad, I can just run the one machine. And he was a little nervous to put me in a machine at, I think I was probably, 8 or 9 years old. And he did though. And within the first probably 15, 20 minutes, and I was fully operating the skid steer on my own and backfilling the trench, so he didn't have to get out of the machine and jump from one to the next, to the next, to the next. And I helped him get the trench done. I remember Mom coming by and bringing us dinner. She brought us McDonald's, and she's like, what's Kyle doing? He goes, well, he's running the one machine for me while I run the other. And she went, how can he run it? He's only young. And it was just something I had an eye for. I figured it out real quick, and I guess I've never kind of been out of a machine for very long after that since. I've kind of ran everything now from a skid steer to an excavator. We got rototilts on our excavators now. I've ran dozer. I think I ran grader, backhoes, pretty much you name it, I've ran it. I've never ran a big road grader, and I've never ran a rock truck. So there's a couple pieces of equipment that I still want to run. I really want to run a rock truck one day. I keep watching at auction, just thinking that I should buy one just to be able to drive it and have a little Tonka truck at my house like I had when I was a kid, but a big one. The other thing I really want to run, which is really random, I want to run a combine one day. I don't know why. I've never been a farmer. I haven't really worked on a farm. But I love the life of it. I love how people just get to stay home, be with their families. They work hard, but they just get to be at home. They're home every day. They see their wife. They see their kids. That's a pretty big thing. Why I decided to build a company instead of working for somebody else, I guess I've never really worked for anybody else. I did work at Tim Hortons when I was 12 years old, actually. I lied about my age. I told them I was 15 at the time. I gave them the wrong date of birth. They never checked my SIN. They never checked anything. But as a young guy, I raced dirt bikes, and I still do to this day. But Dad always said if I want to race bikes, then I need to help out with some of the costs because it was expensive. And so I got my first job, real job, I guess, when I was 12, and started at Tim Hortons. And just told them I failed a few grades, but I was reliable, so they didn't even bat an eye over it. And when I went to quit there, I remember working there for about a year, and I went to quit, and they said, no, don't leave. Like, you don't miss a day. You're always reliable. And I went, well, you know, I'm not 16 or 15 years old. I'm actually 12. And they went, what do you mean? And I'm like, I lied about my age. I needed a job. I needed to make money. And they said they didn't care. They were like, you know, it is what it is. You're a good worker. You do what you need to do. You're mature. They wanted me to stay, but for me, Tim Hortons was definitely not my long-term career goal. So it was kind of like a stepping stone to make enough money to buy a bike. And once I had that, I was on to something different. What else? I guess we could talk about like the vision today. If you asked me a year ago my vision and you asked me my vision today, I think they would change a little bit. Actually, they would change a lot. So the company's growing like crazy. We've gone from a small company back in the day with a truck, or my first car I had that I worked with was a Jeep Liberty with a small trailer behind, to I guess a multi-million-dollar business with, we have UPLP Group, we have concrete near me, we have hardscape supply, we have excavation and septics near me, and then we got our 0 to 100 marketing agency. So, I mean, the company has grown significantly. We got probably 25 or 30 trucks on the road, a lot of equipment, a ton of employees now. We've got bikes, we got boats, we got cars, we got all the toys you can think of. But I got a couple little girls. I got a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old, Alsabel and Ariel, and they're my pride and joy. It's the only reason I do continue to work, is to make sure that they're supported and taken care of. My lovely wife Jess, I got her. She takes care of the kids. We homeschool our kids because we weren't fond of the schooling system today. And my vision for the company, I guess right now we're in the process of building a 40,000 square foot building at our new yard on Shannon Court. There's going to be a couple new births of new companies once that building's done. And I don't know, to be honest, my vision now is a little bit different. Now that I got a couple kids, they're getting older, I'm having a much more fun spending time with my kids than I do going to work every day. I used to really enjoy going to work every day and putting in the hours. Like, we work, I don't think in the last 20 years I've worked less than 70, 80 hours a week consistently. And I still have that drive. It's just now that my kids are 5 and 3, I miss them a ton. Every day I get up and they try to wake up before me at 5:30, and they ask me, "Dad, can you just stay home? Can you give me a hug? Can you give me a kiss? Can you snuggle a little bit longer before you leave?" And it's getting hard to do those 80-hour weeks. I will say that. It's so I mean, my vision is to keep growing, obviously, keep pushing, keep making more money. But I will say, I guess, the money's not the motivator as much for me anymore. It's giving my kids a life that they need and they deserve, and my wife. And I guess taking care of my mom and dad as they get older. I want to continue to be able to do that. Make sure my sister, as I told you, she's working with us now. She runs our hardscape supply and our concrete division. So making sure she's taken care of. She's got 2 kids as well that are 19 and 17 or 18 now. So obviously I want to make sure that they're helped out. My brother, Cody, obviously, he's a partner, and I think both of our goals align. He just bought himself a new boat, a big boat. And he's spending a lot more time with his kids as well. We're trying to take and have a little bit more work-life balance now. So I think the vision for the company is trying to find and put the right people in place, have more work-life balance, and just spend time with our kids, because I do know that I will never in my life say, when I'm laying on my deathbed, go, "Hey, I wish I worked more and I spent less time with my kids." because all my best memories to date now, and I mean, I've only had kids for 5 years, are the memories I've had with my kids. Just on the weekend, we were actually at the motocross track in Michigan at Redbud, and it's a joy hanging out with your kids and seeing what they do and stuff they say and watching them grow up and learn. And I'm lucky to have the wife that I do, because obviously, like, I don't know if I told you, but we homeschool our kids. So my wife is with them 100% of the time. They ride horseback throughout the week. They do gymnastics. They do swimming. Give me a sec. So as you can tell, I was talking about my wife, and she called me. My kids are out riding on their dirt bikes at home, and she wanted to know where the fuel was. So I declined her call once. She called back a second time. She's a great wife, a little bit annoying, but I'm sure if all you guys that are out there are married, if your wife's not annoying, you picked the wrong one. So that one's definitely going for a reel. Now who is it? All right, now it's Steph. As you can tell, this is the life of the business owner. I've had, in 10 minutes of talking on here, I've had 3 phone calls. I've gotten pulled away from, because my guys are doing concrete in the background. We're actually sitting in a park downtown North York right now, that we've been building for the last 6 or 7 months. And it's almost completion day. Sod's going down, the rubber's finishing today. So it's a pretty big day here, that's for sure. The splash pad's being completed, but it never ends. I don't get 20 or 30 minutes with no phone calls or no disruptions. It's always something going on. And that's the life of a business owner. So I think that's going to be a wrap on our first one. We talked about a little bit of our life, or my life, I guess, and how I started and where we want to go. And I guess in the next episode, we'll talk about the first few years of working, the mistakes, some of the debt, people who didn't pay their bills, and how easy it could have been to fail. But we persevered and kept on going. So Kyle here, UPLP Group, and this is going to be built from nothing, the UPLP Group story. So follow along, you're not going to want to miss it. We got 10 more weeks of this, and then hey, if you guys like it, maybe we'll just keep on going. We're going to tell you the story of our lives, the story of our business, and I think we might even include some of the weekends of like how we enjoy our lives now, riding bikes, riding the boats, having a good time, enjoying life. So stay tuned, check it out, UPLP Group story.